considerably later than expected. Got comfortable. And so begins the Exodus. Today is going to be nothing but Metro Exodus. I doubt I will finish it because I've only got about 13 hours. Let's see how I think this is a native Linux port. Let's see how this goes. Alright, how you doing? I had to stop playing. Didn't get anywhere near to the end, but I seem to be doing better than most players already. I mean, Yam and Tao's only, what, stage 2 or 3? And most people quit way before now. Actually, where is it? No. Is this one Volga? Where is it? Click. Oh, I did it. Where is it? Is that the one? Yeah, like, if you look, 55% of players quit, and that's not even the end of the first main stage. Brutal. But been quite enjoying it. I stopped at that point because the game crashed. I'd cleared Moscow, Volga, Yam and Tao, and I then started Caspian. I've had a couple of crashes in the game. A little bit annoying, but I can't say I didn't expect it because I slammed Metro Exodus a few years ago for being a buggy mess. But I wasn't entirely sure if that was just a cyberpunk kind of thing where way back in the day the console versions of Exodus were a bit not great. But when you went up in levels on console, so if you were playing on a standard PlayStation, games were a bit broken. If you played on the Pro, you had more horsepower, so they ran better kind of thing. Cyberpunk's the same. Metro, I kind of guessed would be the same. That, or it was like maybe patched when we spoke about it before, but when it first came out, it wasn't particularly great. And I'd have been devastated, frankly, if that were the case on PC, because 4A games, Metro Exodus, when you get to the bigger semi-open world areas, they look absolutely gorgeous. And in talking to Ram tonight for the podcast, he and I both agree the game really is fantastic. It doesn't feel particularly Metro-y, feels more Stalker-like, but considering the devs came from 4A games, the main guys in 4A were ex-Stalker developers. They're kind of hitting every beat, and the fact that a lot of the stuff they're doing in Exodus is part of the original Metro 2033 design doc, open world, day-night cycle, that kind of stuff. They're finally making the game they wanted to all those years ago, and I think that realistically you needed more horsepower to really benefit it. Let's be fair, if it was as buggy for me today as it seemed when it first came out on consoles, I would have probably cried because it would have just destroyed it. When you look at that game and you see some of the stuff in it, I won't show anything because it's something you really have to experience organically. There's a bit where you can go to sleep and it does this gorgeous transfer, like a time lapse, day to night. It looks fantastic. I've tried playing with ray tracing and non-ray tracing and actually spent like the first hour or so before I had my first crash just flicking between ray tracing and not. I'm not playing the super enhanced edition for PC either because that's a Windows only thing. I'm playing the Linux native. It works fine. I think the first crash was my fault because I was super keying out. I was answering text messages that I should have been answering on my phone, to be fair, but I was answering them on my PC, and I think that kind of caused it to lock up at one point. And then I had like two little glitches where things weren't where they were supposed to be. So like a character was sat down, but he was like sat down but nowhere near the chair that he was supposed to be sat on. I don't know if he was supposed to be sat on the chair, but the character was posed as though he was sat down. and another one where an axe was just kind of floating in the air near like a chopping block, but it wasn't on the chopping block, it was just kind of floating in the air near it. There was that, and then as I said, it crashed in Caspian. I was like, I'm going to call it quits. I went for a good 8 hours and called it a day, because Ram had only done 7 and he hasn't left Volga yet. So, but there was no point me really going. We're going to chat about it next the week, but it is fun. The world seems, I wouldn't say super dynamic. It's very different from other Metro games, but like the things that characters get up to is just nice. Dialogue is all right, albeit they seem to talk over each other a lot. They're very kind of stiff in their delivery, but it's done in a way that it's nice. Character interactions feel human. They feel like they're actually friends and they get on. And that in a lot of games, a lot of that stuff seems really forced. In this, it doesn't, and that's neat. They've really kind of worked on it. And considering it's a game based on, so the game series was based on a book, and then the second book was based on the game, and then the third game is based on a book based on a game based on a book. It's because they still have the writer of Metro doing bits for the game, so they've done a pretty solid job so far. I'm looking forward to finishing it. It really does seem like it had a Cyberpunk moment back in the early days where just you needed more horsepower and it needed a few patches to get it going, but if you can, play it. Anyway, I'm going to head off. It's just taken way longer than I thought it would. Whole day of Metro. It's actually not been that bad. It's really not been that bad. I really started to like the ranges and the way they interact with other players. I like the world, and I'm telling you, man, when a little girl tells me to go and get her teddy, I'm going to go do it. And even if that means raiding a base and they're only leaving one guy alive, his name's Dave. Dave surrendered. I let him live. And he just stayed there for hours and hours and hours. Like literally, like just like hands up for days. Old Dave, right? New people moved into that base and started attacking me. But Dave, he was he was still chilling there. Like, nah, mate, I ain't fighting him. It's not my day, mate. It's not my day. At least he didn't shoot me in the face. You're damn right I didn't, Dave. Why didn't you tell them to fucking cut it out too? Fucked everyone up because someone asked me to get a teddy bear back. Yeah, fuck it. I'll see you in the next one. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, boy, Dave! Don't fuck with an angry British guy, crazy Russian man. What is it? How, basically, we'll believe any lie as long as it's convenient. I think that's basically the gist of the story so far. Play it. Play the series. Read the books. Books are alright, actually. Fuck off. Go on. Be gone. Russian's a really weird language to translate too, by the way. It's like bricks and typewriters and all kinds of things being kicked down a flight of stairs.